All right, we're here at the Buddhist temple here in Morris. My understanding is it's fine to take a walk around the property. Let's take a walk.
The gate into the temple includes a brick wall, which does not wrap around the property. Instead, the short walls of the gate symbolizes that the temple is not a separate space from nature but is one with it. As you pass through the black metal gates, you notice the elaborate swirls and the golden wheel in the middle of it. This exhibits the sacred nature of the space. The golden wheel is known as the Dharma wheel. More on that later in the video. Just beyond the gate is the gazebo, housing the Buddha and a pair of bodhisattvas welcoming visitors. The large concrete statues are all elevated on a red platform, requiring viewers to look up at them. The concrete Buddha are hand-painted with pink and orange paint. Apparently, these are made of concrete, instead of the more usual bronze. That's because these are outside and need to withstand the harsh New England winters. This particular Buddha wears a thin orange drapery. This same drapery appears on many of the Buddha figures throughout the temple grounds. The monk we met also wore this orange gown. This statue has the same pose as the carved schist from 9th century India. He points one hand downward and the other lays on his lap. This gesture, known as touching earth, represents the moment of Buddha's enlightenment. Other images mimic the traditional visual representations of Buddha. These include the stretched earlobes representing the wealth he once had as Prince Siddhartha Gautama. He also wears a crown representing the attainment of enlightenment. His eyes are also lowered but still open. The bodhisattvas stand on each side of the main Buddha figure. These concrete statues are painted gold. Their hand positions mimic a traditional pose in Buddhist practice. They hold one hand outward, at approximately shoulder height. This gesture represents fearlessness, protection and peace. Visitors can leave coins on the Buddha's hand as a symbolic offering to either create good karma or to thank the Buddha for his teachings. The gazebo also has carvings of sacred symbols. A golden phoenix protrudes outward from the red triangle that sits on top of the gazebo. Also, bird-like carvings sit on each level of the red and white hood that covers and protects the golden phoenix figure. While the phoenix image is flat and pressed inward, the white bird heads are three-dimensional. Dragons sit on the corners of the gazebo, as well as on the platforms that elevate the Buddha and bodhisattvas. Like the bodhisattva statues, these dragons are concrete and painted gold. Dragons and phoenix are some of the most powerful symbols of success and prosperity in Buddhist beliefs. This temple consists of a collection of buildings, rather than a singular building. There are image halls which contain images of bodhisattvas, lecture halls where monks give talks and sermons, a housing unit for the monks and the main building that houses the golden Buddha figure. This is guarded by two golden dragons perched on red platforms on each side of the entrance. A small gazebo-like structure extends out from the main building. A Buddha is painted in the top triangle of the gazebo. The colors of this painting mimic the colors of the concrete statues that welcomed us when we entered the temple. In the painting, the Buddha joins the tips of his thumb and index fingers, while holding the three remaining fingers straight up. This pose symbolizes the transmission of the Buddhist teachings. There are outdoor eating and gathering areas, where statues of animals are also placed nearby. Here you see a black boar standing below a leopard. The boar symbolizes sins of passion and ignorance. The leopard symbolizes wisdom and protection. The difference in their height, sizes, and colors highlights the symbolic meanings behind these two animals. The boar, having grim symbolic value, was the only statue that stood below human eye level. There are a handful of lecture halls where the monks recite and share the Buddha's teachings. Many of these buildings are guarded by bodhisattvas. In front of this lecture hall is a bodhisattva that has captured a snake. This is very similar to representations of Vajrayana, who was one of the earliest bodhisattvas that symbolized strength and protection. While the snake looks soft and flexible, it is in fact also made of concrete. It's amazing how the sculptor was able to create such a stiff and compact body of art that still looks so fluid. The triangle on the roof displays a variation of the Dharma wheel. This is the oldest symbol in Buddhism. The 8 arms extending from the center represent the Eightfold Path, the path to nirvana. We also saw this symbol attached to the front gate. The roof mimics the design of the roof on the gazebo near the entrance to the temple grounds. The thick pointed swirls that come out from the corners of the roof look like the white bird heads that come out of the corners of the gazebo. A pair of dragons are also placed near this building. These are significantly more decorated, in color and design, than the ones by the main lecture hall. The delicacy of these dragons highlights the importance of the meditation that happens in this room. The rest of the buildings and structures contain similar symbols of Buddhism. As amazing as this temple is, it is still growing. There are some new statues and structures, including a new one, currently covered in scaffolding, being erected next to this bodhisattva. It looks like it's going to be about 15 to 20 feet tall.
Alright, so that's the Buddhist temple here in Morris. Pretty impressive, some of this statuette and artwork, architecture. It's pretty impressive. Yeah, if you liked it, go ahead and click that like button. If you haven't subscribed, I wish you would. It would help. And if you did like it, please share it. I'm sure some of your friends would like it. So, from Morris, Connecticut, here in the temple, Buddhist temple, we'll see you next in time.